Hello everyone and welcome back to the Blackford Book Club and another from my essential film reviews collection and my ramblings and my musings on last year's Babylon, directed by Damien Chazelle. The new Babylon film isn't so much singing in the rain as a golden shower of utter disappointment. Stephen Blackford, 1st of February 2023. The opening 9 minutes as laid out before you presently will hopefully give you a flavour for the debauchery, hedonism and a Hollywood of the golden age on the cusp of flowering and morphing into innumerable historic futures pictured here through the lens of Damien Chazelle in his 5th all-time cinematic release. Then for the next 180 minutes you are on your own. Bel Air, 1926, and in the midst of the roaring 20s we immediately find our Coen Brothers inspired hero in the middle of the madness all around him, Manuel Torres, Calva. Soon to be Americanised and affectionately known more simply as Manny by everyone in the Hollywood community, first he must push an elephant-sized stone up a hill to the mansion that sits atop it. Sisyphus may not have succeeded, but as the elephant's trunk distracts a helpful driver as he deposits pile after streaming pile of watery excrement over a fellow helpful soul, Manny sure does. His elephant-sized stone rolled up to the mansion on the hill. Manny's reward was the sight and sounds of a hedonistic, drink and drug-fueled orgy of sexual and societal excess, and a Hollywood party like no other. Chazelle's direction and camera work here are incredible. Dizzying, swirling, swooping shots immerse us in Manny's immediate world of naked wanton sex, a hive of highly sexual life, of free-spirited abandon, a sex game with deadly consequences in one room, a Kubrickian eyes-wide-shut response in another, and everywhere is excess to absolute Hollywood excess. Backed by the beginnings of an incredible music score from Justin Hurwitz, and here the thumping 1920s sounds of a bombastic jazz band, it's an exhausting experience, especially so for our would-be cinematic hero, and escaping from the Hollywood wars of Hades for a relaxing cigarette, Nellie Leroy, Margot Robbie, crash lands into his life for the first time. Do you know where I can find some drugs? Nellie asks her new beau, and for Manny, a Mexican immigrant, was now on the precipice of living the American dream. And now you're on your own. The film itself may well end in the 1950s, but it primarily paints the final years of those roaring 20s through the early 1930s and a totemic shift in cinema from silent movies to talking pictures, or simply talkies. Backed by an ensemble cast of Brad Pitt, Gene Smart and Tobey Maguire, together with director Spike Jonze and musicians Flea and Albert Hammond Jr. amongst many, many others, this is Manny's story to tell, and Calva is truly magnificent as the Coen Brothers man in the middle of a maddening crisis not of his making. In a somewhat supporting role, Margot Robbie follows up her outstanding performance in Quentin Tarantino's Hollywood for Damien Chazelle's here, with a tour de force of devil-may-care panache that was eerily similar, in a complementary manner, to Ana de Armas's recent portrayal of Marilyn Monroe in last year's Blonde. There's a character construction to the facade of Nellie Leroy, just as there was for Norma Jean Baker and for Marilyn Monroe. So too the heartbreak hidden here by Margot Robbie's portrayal of a drunken dreamer way ahead of her time, and exploited just the same as the blonde bombshell, still 30 cinematic years away. There's a beautiful reverence for film and for cinema. It seeps through every scene, poignantly typified by the red, blue and green coloured final frames of a film I just had so little interest for. Brad Pitt was overshadowed by Calva and Robbie, but his drunken balcony fall and resignation to life as a now old and retired actor bookend his usual brilliance. Tobey Maguire's antics in Act 3 were a bizarre joy to behold, and Gene Smart excellent in her portrayal of an ageing Hollywood writer and gossip columnist. Whilst the Oscar-winning musical score of Justin Hurwitz sees him nominated again this year, there wasn't the heart of First Man, or particularly La La Land, and after the 30-minute introduction, 30 minutes, to the blood-red opening titles of Babylon, and the wonderful, almost back-to-back scenes later of the boiling frenzy of 8 foul-mouthed takes for a simple scene at a would-be college dormitory, or the brilliant taxi ride after between our 2 young lovers, I just didn't care anymore. And there was still 2 hours left to run. And that was Babylon, directed by Damien Chazelle, and I leave you in peace and in solidarity. And I thank you so much for watching this blooming madness. Peace, everyone.